Am I the asshole for telling my sister it's her own fault our family doesn't help her with her kids? I F21 have a sister Chloe F32. Chloe has 3 kids, F8, F6 and M1. She and her husband both work and the youngest goes to daycare. Ever since the youngest has been born, my sister has had a bit of a personality shift. Getting more into organic food and holistic living as she calls it. Chloe and her husband started leaving the kids with our parents for the whole weekend, every weekend, so that they can get a break. My parents are doting grandparents and seem to enjoy it, but around a month ago they refused to do it anymore, their reason being that they are too tired to keep up with the kids. They then started leaving the kids with my other sister Avery F27 every weekend. This had a similar ending. After Avery started refusing, Chloe asked me if I could babysit the kids on the weekends. I stupidly told her yes. I only babysat for 3 Saturdays and had to call it quits because Chloe was driving me nuts. First of all, she has a very long list of rules for the kids while they're babysat. Some aren't so difficult to follow, like organic foods only, which is only what Chloe has in her house anyway, but others just feel silly, like no holding the baby for too long and no shows or movies from Disney. There are more, but this sub has a character limit. When I was babysitting, Chloe would be calling me every 30 minutes, and she gets angry if I don't answer straight away. Every time Chloe came home, she would berate me over something, anything. Not answering the phone quick enough, letting the baby nap too long, etc. When I told Chloe I'd no longer babysit, she got upset and said no one ever wants to help her anymore and her village is disappearing. I couldn't really pretend, and I told Chloe it's her own fault, and people would be more willing to help her if she wasn't a helicopter parent. She blew up at me and said she's demanding basic respect. Not the asshole. Chloe is a control freak who doesn't want to actually parent. She wants to control how her kidlets are parented. Big difference. Tell Chloe if she wants to be respected, she has to earn it. And she can start by being respectful. Right now all she's doing is mooching. I'd hate to be one of her kids. X200B. Edited for grammar. Nta, your sister is exploiting any family member she can, leaving her kids every weekend. Not the asshole, though she's not a helicopter parent since she apparently only parents 5 of 7 evenings a week and no full days. She's an overbearing, controlling freeloader. Having kids is hard. Very hard. But expecting that everyone around you will do that hard stuff instead and only according to your exacting rules so you can take a break every single weekend is ridiculous. Not the asshole. The village quits. Nope. She's entitled to what she wants, but to get it, she'd better be able to pay a lot of money, because that's what it's going to take for a sitter to put up with it. Not the asshole. You could have shortened the title to Am I the Asshole? For telling my sister the truth. She's way overstayed her welcome with these kids. Free childcare from family is an enormous privilege that she has grossly abused. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Beggars can't be choosers, and you shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. If she is going to be asking you to do all of this stuff for her, she needs to let you do it your way or not ask you to do it. She can hire someone to do it her way. There are plenty of nannies out there. Like no holding the baby for too long. Not the asshole, and your sister is doing parenting wrong. I'm concerned for the children. Not the asshole. I've noticed when people talk about wanting a village, they never talk about what they themselves are contributing to said village other than the expectation of unpaid, on-demand labor from the villagers. No one is ever an AH for telling the truth. If your sister wants childcare on these very specific terms, she needs to pay for it. Expecting family members to put up with this kind of behavior with a smile is pure entitlement. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. First family members quit, Second, family members quit, and now you quit. They need to realize they are the problem in this situation. Also, why do they need every weekend for a break? I look forward to weekends to be with my child all day. Most of the time, when I take PTO, he stays home from daycare. If your sister wants a nanny she can push around, she's going to have to pay for it. How can she demand to be respected if she doesn't respect others? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your sister is a lazy, entitled leech. Who the heck dumps their children off every single weekend? She has abused your good graces and deserves absolutely no further assistance short of a hospitalization or life and death emergency. She needs to spend a few months taking care of her children every single weekend under her own stupid rules. I have a feeling they might fade when she's the one having to hold the line on everything. If she needs a break, she should get her husband to step up. Either way, you have absolutely no obligation to continue putting up with this kind of crap. Not the asshole. Your sister wants to dump her kids on relatives every single weekend for free. Then she wants to act like she is paying a sitter with all her rules and regulations. She's not a helicopter parent, she's a demanding control freak who is also very entitled. I would never keep her kids again. Not the asshole. The whole point of having a weekend babysitter is for her and her hubby to get out and enjoy each other's company. Sounds like it would be hard to do that if she's calling all day to check in instead of trusting her village to have things handled. Also, FK the no Disney thing, I'd have those kids sitting in front of Bluey all day long while holding the one yo all he wanted. Not the asshole. They have 3 kids and being a parent isn't a job with weekends off. This is pretty terrible, and I'm surprised any of you agreed to it. She blew up at me and said she's demanding basic respect. How is that working for you, sis? Not the asshole. Your sister is ridiculous. Send her this thread. She had several people willing to babysit all 3 of her kids every weekend and managed to alienate all of them. It is quite the accomplishment. Not the asshole. Yes, it takes a village. But you need to be able to hire your village nowadays. Some help here and there from family is okay, but every Saturday full babysitting because you need a break sounds more like she wasn't aware of what having 3 kids would entail. These kids are no one else's responsibility at the end of the day but hers. Hire a babysitter. YA, this is a weird combination. She's simultaneously a helicopter parent and an incredibly negligent one. You are not the asshole. Hopefully this is the kick that your sister needs to change for the better. Not the asshole. She isn't demanding basic respect. What she is demanding is that her family raise her kids for her without any thought to their lives or the impact of her behavior on either her parents' siblings and her own kids. Those poor kids are probably wondering why their parents have a separate life away from them. When you ask a favor, you need to provide basic respect before you start asking, not demanding anything like understand that when someone is watching 3 children under the age of 9, they don't need to be answering a phone twice an hour, and that when someone is doing you a favor, you don't berate them for minor things, especially if you want to repeat on that favor. Not the asshole. AITA, you should have someone point her at this thread for a reality check. Not the asshole. They can pay for a babysitter so they can have their weekends free and they can actually complain if they are paying for it. Not the asshole. Time for your sister and her husband to stop forcing their kids on others and actually be parents. They should not have had kids if they were not going to look after them. The whole village thing is just some people use as manipulation. Do not under any circumstances cave in to be her children's dumping ground. If ever you are forced to, it's junk foods and Disney all weekend. Her village is disappearing. Sarcasm. YA think. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's actually pretty sad that they want to be away from their kids every single weekend. Chloe had burned through her whole family's goodwill by taking advantage of them, and at this point it's offloading parenting rather than babysitting. You, middle sister and parents are not the asshole. The village only works if everyone is contributing in some way. Your sister wants to be the high lady in a manor house with a village of servants. Not the asshole. She is a parent. Has kids in daycare and school. Why the fuck does she need a break every weekend from her kids? What a horrible parent. Here's my take. I'm a mother to two. When you ask family to watch your kids free of charge, yes, you can lay down your wishes. However, when you get all nitpicky about shit, that's when people shut you down. Yes, there are certain rules that must be followed, but letting a kid stay up 30 minutes past their bedtime, or giving 5 chips as a snack are not when you want to call them out. That will guarantee that you have no free sitter ever.